What's up, lads? Doing something a little different today. So, many people don't know, but I am a very bad VFX artist. I'm a VFX artist, but I'm a really bad VFX artist. Depending on when this video gets uploaded, I've either uploaded my VFX highlight reel, which all the effects I made in that, except from like one or two maybe, were all made like back to back in a couple days, weeks, probably weeks. So with my little knowledge, I thought it'd be a great idea to judge other people, because why not? I don't know, we could call this video like VFX artist judges other people's effects, I don't know. So when making lightsaber effects, the main issue you usually see isn't that the effect itself looks bad, it's just that the tracking of the actual lightsaber, or if you're doing it by hand, it can sometimes look very jittery and it's not actually on the blade very well. We're going to be looking at some videos here, some tutorials, some like short films and stuff like that to just see the lightsaber effects that they've made and see what's good about them and what they could have done better. Okay, so we've got How to Make Lightsaber Effects by Flatpak VFX, or Flatpak FS, sorry. I gotta check them out, 69.4K, not bad, not bad. Let's see the effect they did. You see what I was saying about the jitteriness there? If we go back, right here at the end, you can see how it's not really at the bottom of the hilt there at all. It's sort of shifted to the right a bit as well, it feels like. Like, if you were to show someone a picture of this, it looks fine, but in motion, you can tell it's very jittery and it doesn't look real. I know it's a lightsaber, but it doesn't look real, which is the issue. Looking at this, you can kind of tell, I think it's made by Saber, it looks like, which is a great plugin by Video Copilot. If you're looking to make lightsabers, Saber's kind of the way to go. There will be an example in here soon of someone who doesn't use Saber, and it actually looks really good, and we'll look at those in a sec. In motion, it doesn't look amazing. That part looks nice, it's just this end part here, you can see it wobble around a lot when it kind of shouldn't. But overall, Flatpak VFX, decent lightsaber effect. I'd have to give that a 6 out of 10. The Darth Maul short film. If any of you haven't seen this film, I definitely recommend checking it out. T7 Pro, amazing. It was amazing. Like, obviously you can see 27 million views, almost a million likes. This was a very good short film. And the thing about it is they have like, what, like 4 or 5 Jedi in it and Darth Maul, so that's a lot of lightsabers that are going to have to go in and do. This must have taken a long time to do, because hand by hand tracking a lightsaber, which is probably what a lot of people do, it takes a very long time to do, especially if the thing you're doing is 17 minutes long with like a million lightsabers in it. It takes a long time to do, especially if you want to get it perfect, which from what I remember, in my opinion, these people do it perfectly. Okay, I think this is the shop where they have all the Jedi in it. First of all, look how good Darth Maul looks. He looks pretty good. Here we go. Notice how those lightsabers look perfect. They don't look like they're wobbling around or anything like that. One thing I would say is right here. Maybe the glow on his face should be a bit more harsh, but there is glow on his face, which you can see, which is obviously very good. Obviously, any CG object or any like fake object you're using, it needs to match the lighting, and if it's emitting light, that light needs to be emitted on your actor and stuff like that. One thing you guys might notice, which is very good, a very good detail from here, is if you look at his eye, you can see the reflection of the lightsaber in his eye. Now, I don't know if that's a CG element that they've done there, or if that's just the blade reflected in his eye, because the way they shot this was they used those like FX lightsabers they have that, you know, emit a glow by themselves. Like, this glow on here, it probably isn't even like a CG glow, it's just the glow from the blade itself anyways, and that reflection might not be fake either. Like, the reflection in his eye might just be the reflection of the actual blade that they're using on set. But either way, it's a very good detail. And you got this guy with his flips coming in. But they're very good effects. The way they, especially how they ignite the blade. There's two ways of doing this. Either one, you already have the blade in there and you rotoscope it out. Terrible way to do it, in my opinion. That would take way too long. Or in this case, you can tell by like most of the lightsabers you can buy nowadays have a retractable blade. They probably just took the blade out with the pin and like put the blade aside and just had the actor walk in like this. Now, the only issue with that is when you're hand-by-hand tracking a lightsaber, it's easy to do with the blade because you can put the one tracking point at the top of the blade and one at the bottom of the blade, and it tracks perfectly across. But if there's no blade, you can't do that. So I'm very surprised that they were able to do this without any jitteriness. Maybe what they did was at the end of the hilt of the lightsaber, they had like a tracking marker, and they just rotoscoped that out, which would be a lot easier than rotoscoping the whole blade out. But it looks amazing in motion. Like you can't tell that it's like an element that's been placed on top. If I'm honest, it looks pretty good. Oh, that was a pretty sick effect right here. The force push effect. So it's hard to see what they're doing here. I think I might be able to see a little bit of a shockwave there. It's hard to tell because it's very blurry, which obviously is a really good thing. Because obviously force push, it's going at a lot of speed. It will make your camera obviously look blurry, but also since it is blurry, you can kind of get away with covering up some of the effects here and making them not look amazing. But I think I see a shockwave in there, which is an element you can make either yourself or you can just use the elements that they have from Video Copilot in the Motion Pulse pack. Or the shockwave pack that comes with Motion Pulse. But, you know, where this really looks good is when he force pushes the tree and you see the chunks come out of it. Now, that's probably just a destruction element that they either made themselves, or I don't know how big this company is. Like, I don't know how big, because it's a fan film, I don't know how big this company is. They might have used something like Houdini to make their own, like, trees, like wood destruction simulation. But this, honestly, this part right here where you can just see the bark of the tree, that could just be an image that they just put over it and rotoscoped in there, and did a little bit of a video Photoshop, as we like to call it. And yeah, that could just be what that is. And then they could have just animated that coming in with the force push. Right there, you can kind of see the destruction happening already. And okay, it's kind of obvious when you look at it over and over again that the wood isn't real. It kind of falls a bit too slow in my opinion, maybe. I'm not too sure. So again, for that short film, they probably used Saber to make their effects. It looked like they used Saber the way the lightsabers just looked, and the way the glow was. So now we're going to be looking at someone who doesn't use Saber for their effects, and that is Chris Connor, or Creates Visuals as he used to be called. I didn't know he changed his name, but yeah, Chris Connor. I think he changed his name around the time he started doing those reaction videos. Come on, man, come back to your roots. Do a little bit of do some more effects. But yeah, Chris Connor is amazing. I've been watching him for ages. He does a lot of cool effects. The eye effect was like one of the main things I used to watch over and over again. I could never get it right because my camera was always too low quality. But yeah, he doesn't use Saber for his effects, and his lightsabers, in my opinion, look really good. So if we look at this, let's see what we can see here. Ignites the blade. You can see it's kind of fiery. I think there was a slight optical flare there. Yeah, for a couple frames, and then it fades out. Same with this guy. Only thing with this guy is, because he's using a double-bladed lightsaber with two like big metal rods coming out, I'm assuming is what they would have used. You can kind of see the wobble of the blade, which I guess that wouldn't really happen with a lightsaber, but it is tracked perfectly to that point. It's just that the metal wobbles, so it looks a bit weird. And obviously in this short film, definitely, again, go check this one out. It's shorter than the Darth Maul one, but it's just like a nice fight scene. There's a lot of effects used in here, like force lightning, teleportation, speed, like a lot of random stuff, which is kind of cool. Okay, this was really good. You can see that the guy in the background is out of focus, and Chris Connor is in focus. Now look at the guy's lightsaber in the background. You can see that the lightsaber in the background is also out of focus, as it should be, which is just really good. Like, it's good attention to detail. Some people might actually miss that, and then they'll think like, why does my effect look bad? It's because it doesn't match your camera. Like, when you're doing VFX, you always got to think about, does it match the lighting? And if it emits light, does my actors, like, you know, do my actors match the lighting? In this case, it doesn't really look like he's lit very well, the actor. It doesn't look like he's got much blue light on him. However, one, he's out of focus, and two, it's a quick shot. Like, people won't really notice that. But also, you want to think about, would this be in focus or out of focus, and if so, why? So I did a plane effect. It will be in my VFX highlight reel. It wasn't an amazing effect. It's the first time I've ever done it, but I thought, you know, the plane's in the sky, and the camera's like moving around a little bit. it's going to be out of focus for a bit. So I just put a quick blur on it and then took away the blur, and it just made the effect look a little bit better. In my opinion, I did take away too much of the blur. I put the blur all the way back down to 0 at the end, which made it look a bit too sharp, but enough about me. We'll talk about me another time. Okay, we can see the clash effect here. It looks like they're just using a simple, quick 1 frame of light to do this little clash effect here when the lightsabers clash together. Okay, right here looks like they got a little bit of heat displacement as well. You can see how when he holds the lightsaber close to him, it kind of warps the image a bit. If you've ever lit a flame on like a stove or something, or a Bunsen burner, like if you did science or something, if you look at it, you can kind of see the heat coming off of it. That's basically what they've done here. There's multiple ways of doing it. The best way, in my opinion, which is the easiest, but you kind of got to have the plugin for it, is using Video Copilot's heat displacement plugin. You just put the heat displacement on, change the effects a bit, and that's it. But yeah, you can see it very well in this shot. And there is another shot I want to talk about in a bit where he has both the lightsabers. Now that was a shockwave effect right there. So this is a shockwave probably from Video Copilot that he's used here for this force push effect. And he's just slowed it down, tinted it blue, and then added smoke, just smoke coming out of the lightsaber when it's not ignited, which is a very good it's a very good like addition, since his lightsaber looks like fire when it's ignited. And it looks like there's a lot of dust elements here. I don't know if that was just on set or if there was just dust around. Looks like they have an optical flare here and a little bit of a tin and smoke effects coming out there, and a bit of lightning. There's a lot of stuff going on in this shot. Okay, now this was the shot I wanted to talk about right here. This. In my opinion, that just looks sick. You can see, even when paused, you can very clearly see the displacement effect that they have. Just look at Chris Cotter's face here. It looks a little bit warped, and you can kind of tell with the background as well. The lightsabers themselves, they look very good. They go all the way to the end of the blade inside. Like, even in his lightsaber, you can kind of see it going inside of the hilt there, which is pretty cool. No jitteriness at all when in motion, as you can see here. It looks pretty much perfect. It looks perfect. You can also see, as the lightsaber rotates, it gets masked out by the hilt on his red blade here, and it just looks as real as you can get, basically. Now that was a very good bit of choreography right there. How they end up switching lightsabers in the fight. That's pretty cool. I don't know who came up with the choreography for this fight scene, but it is very well done. So I would like to know who did that. Yeah, definitely go check this out. Watch the whole thing for yourself. It's very, very well made. And yeah, that might be the best lightsabers, the best lightsaber effect I've seen on YouTube, like, ever. They're very interesting. They don't look like they do in the movies as well. That's like why it's quite interesting. And if you guys don't know the plugin Saber, which they didn't use for this, but it's a plugin I'd recommend you guys use, because 1, it's free, and 2, it's very easy to use. They actually have different settings or presets for your lightsaber, so you can quickly switch between them and make some really interesting effects. I've been recording for 21 minutes. See, this was meant to be a video looking at everyone's like different effects. It looks like we only looked at lightsabers in this one, but I can do more where I look at other effects. For example, I guess like maybe like the Flash. If we look at people who tried to recreate like the Flash effects, since I've done that. Or other effects that I've done. Maybe we could look at some Element 3D effects, since I like to use Element 3D a lot now. I never used to. I used to just literally do compositing and that was about it. But yeah, maybe we could look at that another time. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. VFX highlight reel coming soon if it's not out yet. If it is, go check it out. Because, I mean, honestly, a lot of people will be here from now, because hopefully, I think someone's going to be reacting to it, which should be pretty fun, and I hope they enjoy it. That's why there's a lot of Net Alliance stuff in there, because I think he's going to be checking it out, hopefully. Let me know what you want me to react to next. I'll react to any VFX, I guess. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video, which will be sometime soon.